Across different industries, some of the most important work happens in the most dangerous places. From deep, confined spaces to complex operations at height, these are environments where there is no margin for error. Preparation, reliability, and trust in equipment can mean the difference between a job done safely and a life put at risk. This is where specialist safety support plays a critical role, helping teams carry out essential work without compromising on protection. In today's program, Executive TV looks at what it takes to reduce risk in multiple applications and how specialist businesses help protect those who step into the most demanding environments. Ash Safety provides end-to-end safety solutions for confined space entry, work at height, rescue operations, and goods lifting. From equipment hire and contract hire to sales, servicing, and training, the focus is on making sure teams don't just have the right equipment, but also know how to use it competently and confidently.
Most of our clients have been built up over a number of years, and we've built a very good relationship with our clients. They realise that they can come to us and they get honest answers with solutions that provide fit-for-purpose answers. The thing that really gets me up in the morning at Ash Safety is ensuring that we are genuinely trying to protect the end user. The end user to us is key to everything. Without the end user and that trust in what we do, we don't have a business. It's as simple as that.
Moving away from overseas manufacturing and bringing it in-house strengthens control over quality and performance. For safety-critical equipment, that type of control matters.
We've looked at manufacturing within the UK and it faces major problems. Those major problems are mainly due to not being backed by government for the things that we critically need, like steel and aluminium, which ideally we want to source from the UK. So we've looked at manufacturing the products that we make. Originally, if I go back 16 years ago when we started manufacturing things like load arresters, we used to buy those products in from nearly 13 or 14 different countries, which was a logistical nightmare, particularly with quality control, because invariably you'd have a large container turn up, and it was only when it turned up you realised whether the quality was any good or not, and then you were into another 8 or 12 week delay. So we decided to move manufacturing as best as possible to in-house. So for that, we set up our own machine shop, we bought our own machines, we try to source, I would say, everything within the UK, but we actually really try to source everything within Devon if we can. And now 80 to 85% of the equipment that we manufacture actually is sourced from within Devon, and that has actually helped us, particularly after Brexit and things like that, where currency and product prices and supply became quite difficult, whereas now we have stabilised that and it helps us with the manufacturing. But long-term manufacturing, I think the UK is in for a rough ride as China is investing so much money into manufacturing and production, and that seems to be overlooked by government in the UK.
Automation plays an increasing role where precision is essential. By improving consistency, automated processes help reduce variability in manufacturing and servicing. However, skilled people remain central. Judgment, inspection, and safety-critical decisions cannot be automated away.
We have looked at the manufacturing process, and obviously there is quite a lot of things that you can automate. There's actually quite a lot within what we do that can't necessarily be automated. So it needs to be a combination of both. But we have now seen where automation and particularly with AI are coming in, there are new compliance issues which will cause major problems within manufacturing. For instance, guards on machines to ensure safety where it's automated are now being taught by AI to visually recognize whether it's a person or whether it's part of a machine that's in the way. That has now actually led to a brand new machinery directive having to be written because the people that issue those standards are now petrified that AI will not recognize a particular angle of someone's arm or head or leg, and that machine may well not shut off. So whilst automation is very good in certain aspects of what you do, the majority of what we do actually isn't that automated apart from our CNCs, where the machine, once set, actually then always runs the same part again. And the tolerances on that are fabulous with the way the machinery has come on in the past 15 years, to be honest.
True safety innovation delivers measurable reductions in risk for the end user. Improved design, better materials, and smarter engineering help protect both people and critical infrastructure in harsh working environments. But innovation goes beyond just hardware. Training and competence are equally vital, because even the best equipment is only as safe as the way it's used.
We've looked at the term safety innovation, and to be quite honest, to us, safety innovation means coming up with something that vastly increases safety to the end user. That could be a complete redesign. It could be coming up with different products that are used within an existing product, so it creates less problem. So it might be, for instance, somebody's entering into a silo that's glass lined, and where we would have been using a steel rope to go in there, that may then be turned to a nylon rope, still offering the same basic product, but we no longer scratch the internal of the silo. Or it could actually be trying to dissipate the forces much more equally, so that there is far less impact on the wearer should they have a fall or should anything go wrong. With gas detection, it's making sure that we've got far more reliability. With breathing apparatus, it's ensuring that clients can use the systems much, much easier to deliver that total safety package. So like when SCBA was developed a while back now, and we put positive pressure in, so it blew the gases away from the face mask if you had a leak. That I would see as a proper safety innovation that really enhances safety to the user.
Maintaining high standards while managing cost, lead times, and operational complexity is an ongoing challenge. There is also the responsibility of building and retaining skilled technical teams to sustain long-term capability in the UK, which is made difficult as the industry struggles with a skills shortage.
We've looked at our manufacturing processes, and the main challenges that we are finding is that everything is actually in this country geared against the manufacturing industry, rather than somewhere like China, where in actual fact the government is mainly made up of engineers. So if I was to live in China and wanted to set up a new company manufacturing a product, I would be welcomed with open arms and given all sorts of grants and initiatives and schemes, because they know that long term, that is a real good way of developing the country and promoting GDP. So we find that as an aspect. Brexit has been made very, very difficult for us. I personally thought Brexit was going to be fantastic for us, but I didn't realise how anti us running our own affairs was going to be to government. And we seem to have more politicians that want to just put us back than actually try and develop what we're looking at now. So I would sincerely like to see a long-term strategy for the UK that genuinely promotes young people from school back into real employment where we manufacture things. The UK these days is seen so much as just a service industry, and service industries don't actually really make anything apart from help people. When we look at the whole economic and global situation, from pandemics, what's happened with Brexit and everything else, it would have affected us far worse than it has if we hadn't have decided to move all manufacturing to the UK 12 years ago, when we'd come out of the recession before 2008. And having had a meeting with the Bank of England and discussing with them, they felt that was a good policy at the time as well. And it has definitely helped us. But we are seeing monumental rises for product itself, which unfortunately we are having to pass on. The new national insurance rate has meant we are having to pass that on. We have staff that are expecting pay increases, which we have given them, but most staff don't realise that whilst they were out of pocket when they got hit for their NI, that every bit of NI they're paying, we as a company are paying as well. And that actually took away our ability to offer them an even better pay rise. In some respects, it would have been better to have put the tax rate up than adjust national insurance. With the pandemic, we felt at the time that we were going to be stifled as far as business went. So we immediately, because of what the government was saying, took a knee-jerk reaction and furloughed 80% of the people that we employ. Within a month and a half, we had just about everybody back, because whilst everybody believed it was just the National Health Service that was the vital system that was out there, of course, if your toilet doesn't work, and we deal quite heavily with the water industries, then people will realise that that is just as important as the hospital, the same as the hospitals being able to get rid of their waste and their rubbish. And because we were dealing with all of those people, we were actually given a paper to still drive around the country and do what we were doing because our services were needed. When looking towards the future, we know that constant development is the only way forward. Whilst our business was originally set up around distribution of other people's products, we've actually realised that all distributors are incredibly vulnerable. Every time there's a recession or every time there's a blip in the economy, it's too easy for a manufacturer to turn around and say, we'll cut out distribution, because if we go direct to the end user, we've immediately got a 30% margin or higher. So we realised that new products is the only way of ensuring that our company remains at the top, as well as finding the latest products that are coming out. So our distribution market now is changing, and we are constantly changing with that. So my main issue now is to find somebody within our company that will not only want to take the company forward, but also be able to invent and develop new product that hasn't been seen before. We're not a big enough manufacturer to get away with just manufacturing something that everybody else manufactures. our products have to be unique. We have to bring something to the marketplace that gives us that elite sign rather than same as everyone else.
In high-risk environments, safety is earned through consistency, the right equipment, the right maintenance, the right training, and the right decisions made before the work begins. Ash Safety's role sits in that chain, supporting the people who do the most demanding jobs and helping ensure the systems around them are ready when it counts. Because in the end, safety is personal, and every life matters.